biggest thing that I have to point out is this man is a walking miracle. He was taking 5 shots of insulin every day. He made it to us in just 2 months. He was down to 1 shot a day. 4 shots completely cut out. Not only that, 4 other medications that he was taking for the complications and the symptoms for his diabetic problems were also cut out of his life, were also cut out of his regimen. That is what was so powerful about Larry's testimony. Like he said, he's just a regular, everyday person. Now, to get to the most important point of tonight, I've got to make sure this loads properly. There we go. We have to look at the keys and the necessary steps to defeating and reversing diabetes. And this is the process that I wanted to show you, Vivian, since you did ask the question. I want everybody to see this because this is where the knowledge is, and this is where the root of the problem gets addressed. Okay? Now, first I want to start off by saying glucose is a good guy. You have to have sugar into your cells that also help deliver you energy, primarily help brain function. The problem that we're experiencing is we have insulin, and what the insulin's job is to do is it's supposed to take the glucose and put it into the cell. Right? Here's the problem that's happening. These cells are becoming, if you see we have it going in here, I gotta let this load here. The cell has become irritated once the blood sugar has gone into the cell. We're having the problem because the cells are putting up a wall, a protective barrier around themselves that is no longer allowing any more insulin and any more glucose to come out of the blood to go into the cell because the insulin receptors have become irritated by an excess amount of insulin. It's not that you don't have enough insulin. It's that you have, yes, Kelsey got it, too much. Too much insulin. And you have to think about it as the cell is trying to survive and there's so much insulin that's in there and it's not allowing any more to come in. So guess what happens? If the insulin can't take the glucose, the sugar, out of your blood and put it into the cell, where does the sugar stay? It stays in the blood. Then you go to the doctor, they run a test, blood sugar's high, more insulin, more pills, more medications. And see what's happening here? The symptom of diabetes is being addressed, not the cause, not the root. The problem is there's too much insulin. And what they're doing is they're focusing on the blood sugar levels being high in the blood, and they're not focusing on the fact that the insulin receptors have shut down and they have quit. Because they've been agitated, they've been given an overload of insulin, and they have too much going on. But what we can do, if I get go to the next slide here, you see, you've got to bear with me here because my clicker's not working. So, here's how we fix that. We have to resensitize the insulin receptors. We have to resensitize the cell. And we have to do that because we have to allow our cells to have a break. If you're working hour after hour after hour after hour, and you're on the 14th hour at work, you want to go home and have a break. You're starting to shut down. That is exactly what's happening with the cells. So we have to resensitize the cells. We have to resensitize the insulin receptors by helping reduce the amount of insulin that we put in our body. Just like Larry. By taking him from 5 shots down to 1, he was able to start helping himself because there wasn't too much insulin that was agitating the cell and preventing the cell from allowing the sugar, which is the good guy, to leave your blood and go into the cell. That is how we begin to reverse diabetes, because this is what will happen. Once we're able to resensitize the cell, the shell will disappear, and the proper natural balance of insulin and glucose will enter into your cell like this. And you will start feeling better. Sugar levels will be under control. And this is how you stop diabetes. This is how you begin to reverse diabetes. And this is how you become in the process of becoming diabetes free. And I want to show you an actual living piece of proof. This is, I know it's a small print. Can everybody see this here? If you can't, I will explain it to you. I know, I apologize, it's small print, but I said we have to have this slide up there. It's a very, very important slide. So what this is right here is this is a before and after reading of an individual that came to our program. This is a before and after reading when we pulled their, let me stand over here so I'm not in anybody's way. When they pulled a sample of blood and they read the hemoglobin A1C count. Right? So we know that when we want to check for diabetes, we have to look at the hemoglobin A1C because that lets us know where our level is at. Now, we all know that a diabetic starts at 6.4 hemoglobin A1C and on up. But there's a step, there's a piece before that, right? It's called pre-diabetic. That is where the A1C is 5.7 to 6.4. Now, this individual came to us, and their blood, when they were on their traditional medical system with the insulin and the medications for the blood pressure and the blood sugar and so on and so forth, they came to us, and when we pulled the first tube of blood, they had an A1C count of 7.1. Now, they came to us, they signed up for a consultation, they got into the program, and 2 months later, they have this after part down here. Now, the after part, we pulled the blood again. This individual was no longer diabetic. This individual was no longer pre-diabetic. The person came to us with a 7.1. In 2 months, his A1C was to a 5.5. Stop it, reverse it, go back to health. Step by step by step. 7.1 down to a 5.5 in only 2-month window. That is how, as I showed you before with the resensitizing of the insulin receptors, that is how we get these results. That is how an individual like Larry was able to give his testimonial and the other testimonials that we all saw at the beginning of the show before I even started. So the A1C has to drop below the 5.7 count to not even be considered pre-diabetic. So this individual got their health back. And the way they got their health back is they got help. They simply got help. They came to a show, they sat down, they knew there was a situation that was affecting them. More importantly, it was affecting the loved ones that are around them. Now, also, like I said at the very beginning, I did not invent the truth. I'm just here to present it. Here's another piece of the truth. The World Health Organization, a worldwide organization that speaks on diseases, says, goes on record, public record, to say 90% of the diseases in today's society are not, NOT, not treatable with regular orthodox medical procedures. That should be front page news, but it's not. It's not. But that's why I'm here to tell you. Because have you ever thought about how am I going to be tomorrow? How will I be a week from now? How will I be 5 months from now when I go back to the checkup? And you want to be able to predict the future of your health. We believe that you absolutely can predict the future of your health. And you can do that by being on a regimen, on a program that has you right now currently healthy so that later on you will continue to be healthy. Let me explain what I mean by that. The very first step to us becoming healthy is we have to order the correct test to see the root and the core of the problem. We have to order the correct test for every individual. Vicky will not be the same as Vivian. Kim will not be the same as David. Each individual... Oh, okay, that's okay. Each individual person will have their own tests given to them so we can diagnose each individual person's specific needs. And then after we've done the testing, this is what we're able to do. We're able to determine the underlying cause of your chronic illness, of your diabetes, of your problem. We're able to find the underlying cause of all the issues that we're experiencing, and then we're able to treat the cause and not the symptom. And that's very, very important because, as we know, we all agree, when we focus on the symptom, does it work or does it not work? It does not work. But when we focus on the disease, if you remove the disease, it is physically impossible for there to be a symptom. So we take it at the core, and we focus on the cause and not the symptom. And then we correct the dysfunction that we're experiencing. We correct the dysfunction, the chronic illness, the disease, and we do not alter it with drugs. We do not alter it with labs, incorrect labs that are based on wild curves. We do not alter it with simple drugs, because here is the truth. here's the truth. Yes, blood pressure medication does help your blood pressure. Yes, blood sugar medication does help your blood sugar. But it is not the disease. The disease is diabetes. We have to get to the cause and to the root to remove it. So you don't have to worry about that pill in the morning, afternoon, and night for blood pressure, weight gain, neuropathy, so on and so forth. We get to the cause and we don't alter it with drugs and false labs. And one of the most important things is we address our body as a whole. Mind, body, muscles, organs, everything as a whole, because we have to have the body working in a perfect balance, a healthy, level balance where everything is working in harmony. So we have to address the body as a whole in order to make the body become healthy as a whole. And we do that by taking a very simple, systematic approach, step by step by step. And I will show everybody what those steps are in just a second. But most importantly, we believe in mentoring everybody. We believe everybody should be mentored, everybody should be taught, and here's why. When you go to a traditional doctor, they tell you that you're going to be on those medications for the rest of your life, right? Yes. We don't want you to be on medications for the rest of your life. We don't want you to be on them tomorrow. We don't want you to be on them the next day. We want you to have self-sufficient knowledge that when you leave us, because we don't want you to be with us for the rest of our life, in your life. Once you have learned how to be healed, and you are healed, we want to give you the knowledge so you can go out back to your life and continue to live in health. So we have to mentor you, not just hand you something and expect you to catch up. We mentor you step by step so that you have the correct knowledge to continue your health and even help somebody that's a lot younger than you, your child or your grandchild. So you have that knowledge that can help your life and it can help the lives of your loved ones. And here's how we do that. We focus very simply. I said we were going to talk about the steps that we do. Now, we focus on the missing pieces, right? And the very first step that we focus on is a detox. Detox is number one. We have to remove the toxins that are in our bodies. Primarily what we focus on with the detox is we're going to concentrate on the stomach and on the liver. Because blood sugar regulation happens in the stomach and it happens in the liver. Right? We have to detox it. So, when we do that, we get your digestive systems working properly. We get them working in a balance. Because here's the problem. When we're having an issue or we're having a problem with a medication and the side effect hits us, where do those medicational side effects attack first? Your stomach and your liver. So when those are filled with toxins and they're filled with corrosion, we have to clean that out so that your body and your liver and your digestive system and your stomach can process the correct nutrients that are going to go through your body. That's what's most important. We have to start with the detox program first. Ultimately, what that does is that leads us into our nutrition. That is step number 2. Now let me tell you guys something, and feel free to write this down because this is very important. If you're putting something in your body and it is not a nutrient, it is a toxin. I'll say that again. If you're putting something in your body, a drink, a food, or a medication, if it is not a nutrient, it is a toxin. And what's important about the nutritional aspect in step 2 is we're going to teach everybody what to eat, what to drink, and what not to eat, and what not to drink. Because we all just said at the very beginning, the very first thing that I heard was fast food. Our diets are contributing to lifestyle factors, right? So what we're going to teach everybody is what to eat and what not to eat. And here's what's important. 30 years ago was this massive explosion of diabetes, and weight gain, and all these problems. Well, if you trace that back, 30 years ago, the FDA, Food and Drug Administration, put on every single thing, commercials and booklets, that little food pyramid. Follow that food pyramid and I guarantee you'll have diabetes. Those no fat, low salt, low calorie, low carb diets, 100 calorie snack well bars, those type of things are continuing diabetes. They are not healthy. They are continuing and furthering the conditions that we have. But we want to teach everybody the proper types of nutrition to eat, to drink, and what to stay away from. I have to say, everybody's like, well, eating healthy it's a problem, it's a chore. No, eating healthy is not difficult. It is just different. And in order to